Hello and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast, your shortcut to various opinions on all things pop culture. This is the episode for the week of May the 15th, 2021. I am your host for this week, David Parker, and joining me today is...
Landon Jolly Browning.
Wil Dobratz.
Colby Chapman.
And Sideways Mick returns.
So Colby's the only one that didn't have some cool nickname.
Yeah, not cool enough to have a nickname.
Oh,
that's right.
Oh boy.
No, Landon just set the tone for this. He totally took all the air out of the room when he said Landon jolly. It's like, dude, really?
It's my new thing. I'm just gonna make something up new, to say.
That's not new though.
I don't think
You've
that's
been
new.
saying that for years.
No, I know.
That's
You've been
old.
saying
I know,
that.
but I'm gonna say a
That's
different
old
phrase
Landon.
every time. Every episode, new
Wait.
phrase is gonna come out.
New phrase?
Dude, can't wait for you to come up with the same phrase for 2 weeks in a row.
So what have you guys been up to this week besides making corny or using old corny catchphrases?
We went to the driving range yesterday.
Who
we
went to the
did.
driving range with you yesterday?
Colby Chapman.
Not Landon.
Colby,
Yeah.
golfer boy Chapman.
Yeah, well, there it is.
Yeah.
For boy.
Yeah, that was fun. We went with Jordan, acquaintance of the show, Jordan.
He's been on at least
Public
once. That
public
counts,
enemy of the show,
that counts him
Jordan.
as a friend. So did you guys just go to the driving range and hit a couple buckets or something?
Yeah.
A few.
Hit a bucket of balls, goofed around. We didn't hit the putting green this time, but we did go to Froyo afterwards, so it was pretty cool.
So golfing and yogurt, that was your whole week.
We didn't go to
No, we got a
Froyo.
sandwich too.
Oh, okay. Oh, saved it.
No, golfing is
Are you trying to get into it? Is it like you're trying to make it
He's
become a
getting
thing?
emotional. Just give him a minute.
I
super
wish I could hear Colby.
inexpensive.
That'd be good.
Colby, you got really quiet for a minute there. Can you repeat the last 10 seconds?
God.
Sorry. Going to the driving range is super inexpensive. It was only $10, bucket of balls, hour and a half. So Mick and I were talking, if we do that, try and do that weekly, and then once a month, actually,
Play around.
yeah, 18 or 9 holes or something like that. It'd be pretty fun. Get into it. Landon is anti-golf for some
I
reason.
thought Landon
Actually not.
wasn't Landon
No.
a few months ago saying that he wanted to get into golf. I recall.
I do.
He's a liar.
I'm somewhat busy at the moment though. As soon as I'm not busy, I'm totally
With what?
down to get a set of
Busy with
clubs.
what, Landon?
No.
As a new
No. We were gonna see how long we were gonna. Oh man, we're not even 5 minutes in. Already brought up the homestead.
Yeah.
So
As soon as I'm moved in, I will happily play golf with you guys. Take some lessons.
Who has
Well,
clubs?
good thing
or
this
do you
is
guys
recorded.
just get clubs when you're there?
We all have clubs except for Landon.
Way
He's
to
not
shame
that
me.
into golf.
Where'd you guys get your clubs? Did you do a lot of shopping around, or did you just look on Amazon and
store.
then you just
Northwest Christian Thrift.
My father.
I got mine from Dick's Sporting Goods.
Don't need to swear about it.
That was the first place that I looked.
Edit that.
I don't think that's a swear word. They show that on TVPG, I think.
It's a joke.
No, I'm just saying discussion,
I
talking.
bleeped it out when I told that story.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was editing. I was and that's fine. That was completely in your purview to censor yourself. I think that's something they show on, or they say on just regular TV though. I think The Office and other comedies use that word. I think. Am I wrong?
So let's go through the
It's a
words you
name.
can't say. On
Yeah,
TV.
yeah. What's the George Carlin, the 7 words? Which actually some of them you can say now, right? Which ones?
I'm not gonna.
You can say
part
piss.
of me-
I think that was one of the 7 that is now no longer considered that bad.
Whoa, Dave is just about to cancel himself. With
As
his
a
foul
frequent
mouth.
swearer, I spend a lot of energy and time devoting to
Coming up with creative ways.
trying to hone my
to swear.
craft.
You'll get there one day.
I don't know if I just grew up a prude or something, but it was never one of those things I got into.
Swearing?
Yeah.
say
Like
crap.
swearing?
Yeah, swearing.
That
You're
hobby,
speaking-
you just weren't any
You're
good at
talking
it,
about it as a hobby, yeah.
Some people treat it like a hobby, kind of.
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
When I
Don't go it.
my opinion has changed a little bit though about swearing. Like when I was a young kid that didn't swear, like I thought everyone who did swear was like
A bad
Running in
person.
hell.
a bad person and like really like stupid. As I've gotten older, like I've understood a little bit more. I still don't like partake, but I understand. You know, I get it.
Excuse me, Mr. Perfect. Gets forgotten.
So
you don't make
you
mistakes.
still think I'm a bad person, Dave? but
No,
you
I don't.
understand
I'm saying
why
I
I'm a bad
don't.
person.
I'm saying I don't.
I have sympathy while you do such an act, but I would never, ever
15-year-old
fall to your level.
15-year-old David would not have associated with, you know, the likes of, you know.
23-year-old Landon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
That'd be-
15-year-old Landon.
That'd be
wouldn't hung
weird
out-
on multiple levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're
15-year-old
like my
Landon would hate-
mentor or something, you know.
That would,
Landon
that
should
would
be no
another
one's
weird
mentor.
level.
I go back in time and corrupt 15-year-old Dave.
Yeah, try to Oh man. How would our lives be different if like one of us
If
went
Landon was
back to
introduced
mentor the
sooner?
other one? So like
I was just-
yeah, 21-year-old Colby goes back and like is influencing 12-year-old Will. Like how does that how does that change? How does that change Will? Like what does Will become?
I think I do
Probably
drugs
a
in high
drug
school.
dealer. Like Will gets kicked out of his home, like at the age of like 13 for like I don't know cussing or something. Like his parents just kick him to the curb.
You ruined my life, Colby.
Preparing you for the future, Will. Yeah, no, that'd be interesting.
What would you guys do
I think-
differently if you could go back and like you're 12
I wouldn't.
and now you can make any changes you want?
I wouldn't go back.
You wouldn't go back, really?
I don't
No.
think I would either.
I don't want to like go
I
through
don't
that
want to
again.
go through that again.
I don't want to mess up the space-time continuum. There's some pretty wild stuff there. No, I'm just kidding.
I liked childhood. I think I'd be okay experiencing it again.
I wasn't.
My
very
childhood was
happy.
fine.
Somebody
but,
had a
like,
good childhood.
yeah. Once again, excuse me, Mr. Perfect.
Check your privilege, man. Like,
It seems like a lot of work. Knowing everything you know now to go back and relive another like 11 years.
I don't think you'd even be
over
you
again?
at that point.
no.
Because what defines a person as like them is like part of their experiences, their memories. Like, you know, that's just my opinion. Is like people like I don't know. You'd almost be a completely different person if you went back, influenced your 12-year-old self, and
Well, I
went
mean,
off
yeah.
in a
I mean,
completely
that's the
different
point, right? Like,
Right, but the
you're-
point is like I don't know. That's just why would I don't know. It doesn't seem fair to the 12-year-old person. I don't know. That's just me.
What if the 12-year-old
So
person
if-
made poor decisions?
I guess so. But
As someone that's made no mistakes,
you know, there's actually you guys are gonna laugh at me, laugh at
it's
me for
actually
this. But there's
philosophical.
no. It's a Star Trek Next Generation episode where Picard dies and is sent back in time to his youth by Q, who's this omnipotent being, and he allows him to live his 20-year-old academy years over again and to remake decisions. It's an interesting episode that I hope you guys see because it says a bit about this whole debate.
Well, I feel like Picard made good decisions though at the Academy, right, to get to the point of being the admiral of the Enterprise or whatever. What is he?
So he's the captain of the Enterprise.
Right? Captain
Admiral.
Jean-Luc Picard.
In the story, he picks a fight with a bunch of like aliens and gets stabbed in the heart and has to have a fake heart. And he does
Spoiler.
so. No, this is well known. He talks about it throughout the series.
Well known.
Yeah, if you were a true fan, Colby, you would know this.
Yeah, Colby, like sit down and let me talk. Basically what happens is he picks a fight out of like basically pride and brashness, like, you know, the typical stereotypical young male, and he gets stabbed in the heart for it, and that's what causes him to have his heart failure and die in like I think it's season 6, that episode. And so Q is like, hey, if you change this fact of what you did, you might live. And so that's what the episode is back in time having to change his mistake of getting stabbed through the heart.
So does he change then, or is there some other way that it's resolved?
He go I'm about to spoil a whole episode. But that's okay.
I mean, it's
If you don't-
an old episode.
It's an old-
right?
So
Yeah.
he goes back in time and he changes his decision, but he loses his friend. He messes up his relationship with his other friend, which is a girl, and he messes up that there. And he ends up saving his life, but he turns out to be this lowly lieutenant who runs like data sets and statistics from one officer to the other. So his complete position on the Enterprise has changed.
Huh.
So
I've never
so
seen
how the
Star
show-
Trek. This
and
is very
Q,
interesting.
and Q in his speech says like that Picard, because he never picked a fight with those
Those guys.
aliens, never learned to take risks, never learned to take command of a ship when the ship has lost its captain, which is how he kind of skyrocketed to leadership. He never learned through his mistakes because he never made any. And the lesson isn't make mistakes so you can learn. The lesson is that
Learn from your mistakes.
yeah, because Picard says one of the very last lines of the show is, when I tried to pull the strings of my life out, the tapestry of my life would fall apart.
Ooh.
So
So
that's
the
kind of
end
why
of
I'm
Picard?
like,
Is that the end of the show, or does he go back to being the captain? Like,
Picard basically says, let me do it. Please, I beg you, Q, let me do it over again. I would rather die as the man I was than live a life of running data from one officer to the other.
Okay.
And not only does Q give him back his old life, but he actually saves him because he's omnipotent. So Q is a character that messes with Picard in pretty much every season of Star Trek Next Generation. He'll just it's really funny. He'll like put him in situations. He'll there's the one episode where he loses his omnipotent powers and gets sent to the Enterprise, and he's just a regular man now, and it's really funny.
A lowercase q.
No, uppercase Q, I think is his name.
God damn
Oh,
it.
never mind. Never mind.
That's so
embarrassing.
funny.
That's embarrassing.
Okay, I have
Well,
I have a
that's
question then though. But like, what if right now the decisions we made back when we were 12 made us the lieutenant data people we are right now, and if we would have made different decisions, we would be the captain of the Enterprise instead.
That's a good point.
Can I go back and change the decision and then just like jump back to now, or do I have to relive all those years?
Well, I mean, I think
I
you
don't really wanna do that.
relive the years, but you don't want to do that, right?
No, it sounds terrible.
Why don't you want to relive the years, Colby? I mean, like, we don't have to go super deep, but like,
Well, no, it's just I don't think I think it'd be agonizing
What
to
if you
just
don't
like
make it
know.
as far? Like, you die in a car.
doesn't
and
want to
go through 3 years.
why is it always car crashes
Landon.
with Landon?
Landon, the point of going back in time was to like help my future self, not destroy it.
I don't know. I feel like I just.
I don't know.
try-
I mean, would Landon be a homeowner right now if he made different decisions? You know,
Oh
maybe
my
not.
gosh.
Maybe
not,
this is the
dude.
only
What
way
if
we
I
get
had-
homeowner Landon.
What if I didn't get to primer?
It's like,
You know what, that's
Landon
a
got that
sacrifice I'll
mohawk
make.
and when he was a little kid, and it just set the trajectory of the rest of his life, and it got him to where he is now.
Yeah, I just don't think I would go back. I don't think I would.
Too much work, or
No, I don't know what I would do. Like, I think maybe I would handle certain personal aspects different relationships and friendships. with
maybe
certain
you'd have
people in
cooler
life.
friends.
Probably
Entirely
not.
possible, but I don't know. Yeah, am I the only one that wouldn't want to go back? Like Colby said, he doesn't
Colby
want
said
to
I
go
just
back.
said.
I don't know. For me, like, hindsight is 20/20, and you don't always know, like, if you go back and make a different decision, how that turns out. So it's almost like I wish I could have a god's eye view and pick the path that's perfect for me, but that's not
That's
gonna
what makes
happen.
Will.
Exactly. That's what makes
See,
me.
I see the hindsight, and then I look back, and I'm kind of like a min-maxer when it comes to video games and stuff, and I'm like, if I would have just put the stats here and then removed the stats there, always improving, but after the fact.
What would you do
which
different?
Is never helpful.
Is there anything specific you would do different, that you can think that would have made a change for the better or worse?
I probably would have focused on school a little bit more, and
Not film majored.
found the value in certain type of subjects, I guess.
So you're trying to say that
Like
film major is
particularly
not a
math.
good major.
Well, no, I feel like everyone knows film major is not a good major. Going in, I knew that. Like, you know, if I was 12 and I had kind of a better idea of what I wanted to do, I probably could have had like a better idea of what type of...
A more idea
of what
Maybe
kind
you
of
should have
job I
also
could
worked
have.
on grammar.
So what
No,
would you have
grammar
done then?
good.
What major would you have gone for? Like engineering? Engineer Dave.
I don't know. My problem growing up and still now is that I never had an idea of what I wanted to do for a job. I never had that thing where it's like, oh, this is what I want to do. And I was always really jealous of people that had an idea of what they wanted to do when they were, you know, little. Because I was always like, oh, you know, this would be interesting, this would be interesting, this would be interesting. And then my mom would look at that, you know, like the government sheet that says like, these are the jobs that are expanding, and she's like, you could be a pharmacist, David, or you could be a speech therapist. But none of those sounded like particularly interesting to me. I just never I kind of always had little interests in a lot of different things. But I think if I would have focused more on like certain subjects, like certain math stuff, it would probably be more beneficial in the long run. Maybe I'm right where I am. See, because here's the thing: like if I go back in time and mess it up, maybe I don't get married to Brianna.
Yeah, maybe you're just a sad, lonely.
He was like,
I'm
no,
an accountant.
like,
I'm an
wife,
accountant,
no.
but like, you know, just single man. Not to like disparage single men. Out,
No.
You know,
no. You should disparage us. Like, I'm worthless.
No, Landon.
Like, I guess if I were to go back, maybe I would like work on like being able to like have like interactions with people normally, and to like, you know, develop relationships and not be a worthless piece of filth. But you know, why
So you
risk
would go
the
back.
things I have? Like, no, I'd probably just mess everything else up. I'd probably be like, I'd probably just have nothing.
I mean, we are evolutionarily like worthless. Like, if we're not like advancing the species, we're a good thing.
I know. I need to further this.
Are you telling me that this podcast is not helping future generations? I beg to differ.
I don't know. I'm sure someone listens to this, and it, you know,
Probably makes
Someone's
them
like,
feel
if I
better
could go
about
back in
themselves.
time and like not listen to this show.
they're like, I need to procreate instead. Hotkeys, the new aphrodisiac. Oh gosh. So golf
Making me
was
too depressed. Yeah,
golf was fun, huh?
Yeah, golf was fun. Thanks for asking.
When are you guys gonna hit the? So you're talking about that you're gonna try to regularly do the range. When are you gonna try to go
Yes.
out to the holes?
Now that like the weather's nice, because like we only have a short window of the year to actually go out. I think like once a month, maybe. Like try for like one Saturday or Sunday a month.
Do you have one planned
I was
right now
thinking
though?
every-
That's what
I was
I'm
thinking
asking.
every Friday.
Like, you guys got
Every Friday
got a
after
date
work.
down.
Got to be consistent.
No, we
Every
don't.
Friday
This was just
after
something
work.
that like we thought of last night. Mick and I talked about. So
Consistency is
Every
key,
Friday.
right, Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm I'm definitely consistent.
What else have you guys been up to other than golf? Landon, you said you beat your first PS5 game or second PS5 game.
Second PS5 game. I beat Miles Morales. It's a pretty long game. It took me like a couple months to get through. So super long. It's pretty much a grind.
Howlongtobeat.com.
That's not-
It's probably like 4 to 7 hours, right?
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
It says it takes like 16 hours to completely platinum it. So
Did you get
the main story is 7.5 hours.
Oh.
The main and extras is 12 hours, and completionist is 17.5 hours.
well, I'm pretty close to 100% completing. I just have to play through on New Game Plus and do like a couple other little trophies.
How does it like stand up to the original game or the base game?
I think it's about the same. I felt like
I would say that the quality is the same. The storytelling is the same. It's just a shorter game, so you don't get as much like in depth, I guess. But the character Miles Morales was also in the first game, so you already kind of
Well, you played as him a little bit, didn't you? Weren't there those sequences?
Yeah, you played as him a little bit, and the story had a lot to do with him too. So it's not like you were just thrown into this new character that you had no idea who it was. So
that was one thing the first game did a good job with, was introducing him and kind of almost laying the groundwork for this game, like a game starring him.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the shorter aspect of it. Like, there's still plenty of side stuff to do, but I felt like the original had so much like monotonous, like all the street crimes, the amount of street crimes you had to do. And this is only a problem if you like go for the platinum. Like
Michael
I
hears
did, but, like,
monotonous in the Spider-Man game, and he's like, "What? Them's fighting words."
I'm just saying, there's a lot of like there was a ton of like side stuff to do to like 100% it, and I felt like Miles Morales was like to 100% it still takes a little bit of time, but like it felt like it was just a better amount of stuff.
We already did all of the street crime in the game before, so there wasn't a lot of crime left for Miles Morales.
Peter Parker cleaned everything up.
Yep.
Spoilers: Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Did the game? I guess this might just be an answer for Landon, unless Michael did this thing, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Did the game feel like a next-gen game, or did it just feel like a port of a PS4 game?
I mean, I didn't play it on PS4, so I don't to tell the difference. I mean, it plays. I mean, the load times are incredible. They're basically non-existent. The 60 frames per second is cool. But I mean, I wouldn't say it didn't feel like you didn't play it and you're like, oh, this couldn't run on.
Not a PS1 to PS2 leap.
No, not at all. I will say my favorite thing about the game, and this is like really dumb, but like after you beat it, you unlock a suit. So this isn't really spoilers, but you get like a suit after you beat the game for doing a side mission that allows you to have a backpack on that has like a cat in the back of it that wears a Spider-Man mask, and it just hangs out with you and meows and like rides around.
Oh
with
my
you
gosh, that sounds like the most Landon.
That's the most
thing
Landon
ever.
thing.
And like when you do one of the like sometimes when you do a takedown, like one of the slow motion, like when you hit like triangle and circle to do a finisher move, like the cat will jump out of the backpack and like swat the person's face like with its paw. It's like so cool. Like as soon as I got that, I was like, oh man, I'm never switching suits again. I'm like, this is so cool. Like
Spider
it's
Cat.
like rolling around. Yeah. Oh man, I was like thinking to myself, like, maybe I won't do New Game Plus, but like as soon as I got that, I'm like, oh, I'm all in.
Meow meow.
All in.
Jolly
Yeah.
jolly.
I think the cat's name
gosh.
isn't the cat's name Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. There's some other cool suits in the game, but like that's the best one.
That's the best one.
I really like the Into the Spider-Verse suit because it comes with like each suit has like its own power associated with it, but you can put the power on any suit. But that suit came with one that made it look like it was from the movie, so the frame rate was different,
Yeah, it was
like
trippy.
chopped in half almost.
Gosh,
So I
movie
like
was
that.
beautiful.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That movie's beautiful.
So Mick, did you get
so
the PS5 version of Miles Morales?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that you probably did, because for those listening, Michael bought the PS4 version and played that because he didn't have a PS5, and I guess Mick also bought the PS5 version, which I was thinking probably happened. Have you beat it yet?
Yeah. I haven't played that one as much. I'm trying to just focus on God of War and just finish that. I want to get more like PS5 games, but I think I just need to focus on God of War, beat that, and then I'll eventually upgrade my monitor so I can actually tell that it's a PS5.
So for those of you, I guess, who have PS5s that haven't been playing many official PS5 games, what's next on the like? Are you like looking at Returnal? Because that's out already, right? Has anyone got that yet?
Yeah, I have not.
Not
That's
yet.
one that I'm gonna wait for.
I've
till
heard
after
the
God
game
of
is
War.
very hard, like really, really hard. So, like some people have like said it's like somewhat Dark Souls hard.
Oh,
So,
Oh,
like-
never mind.
but, like,
I'm not gonna buy it.
The Dark
But,
Souls
like-
of roguelikes.
yeah, it's like a roguelike. It's supposed to be like a Dark Souls, like third person.
I thought Darkest
like, action
Dungeon was
shooter,
like that, wasn't
like-
it? Isn't it like the roguelike / Dark Souls game?
But like turn based. Like
Oh,
this
okay.
is this is like frenetic like gunplay. It's supposed to be like really fun, but it's also supposed to be like really buggy and really hard.
So is it like Ikaruga or whatever? Like but third person, like you're like jumping all over the place trying to dodge, getting shot, and things like that.
Yeah,
Oh my.
it looks like it's
Sounds
like a
too
bullet.
difficult
It
for
looks
my
it
blood.
looks like bullet hell type games, but like
that's like what Ikaruga
Yeah.
is. Gosh.
I've watched a little bit of gameplay. It looks insane. Like the amount of like rounds coming. I mean, because all that it's not like a first person shooter where the bullets are instant. Like it's all these like flashy light, bullets
Bullet
flying
flares.
at you and you're dodging through the air and all this like traversal. It looks really fun though.
I've heard it. I heard it's really, really good, like Game of the Year contender, but it has one major issue, and that's you can't save.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can't save like in between your runs.
What do you mean you can't save in between your runs?
You either have to put your like PS5 into rest mode or like die. Like you can't like be like an hour into like like your life.
Is this
And
a
then, like,
bug or is it a feature?
No, this is a feature. Like they don't want people save scumming. So
Well, that's similar to like the Souls games, I guess.
Yeah,
'Cause you
so
can't
it
save
makes
scum
sense.
with
Yeah.
those. But can you just
Right.
quit out of the game like you could any other game? Like, why do you? Or and then does that put you back at the beginning of a level or something? Like,
yeah, it'll put you back at like the start of a run.
okay.
So, or you can pause and put your PS5.
Yeah,
in
I
the
feel
rest
I
mode
feel
and
like
can
that's
pop back
becoming
in.
almost a new normal for some of these. I don't know if it's because of that like Soulsborne influence of that. Because the Star Wars game was that like that too, where like you couldn't
Yeah.
really like stop anywhere.
What's good about the Star Wars game and Dark Souls though is there's a save spot. Like if you need to get like to go and turn off your PS5 or something like that, you want to switch games, like which is probably the biggest thing nowadays. A save spot's like 10 minutes away max, right? 5 minutes away.
Well,
max.
in Dark Souls and like Bloodborne, you could just stop wherever you wanted, but it was just one persistent save. So if you turn off the system or you click options and quit, wherever you start, wherever you ended is where you will be. So like any point can be considered a save point, but you have to be in a safe part of the game to do that. But Returnal
Yeah.
is it like
That's
like
not the
levels
same thing
almost
for
where if
Returnal.
you quit out, you get like put back to the beginning of it?
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I think people are criticizing it for not having like a
Lame.
quick save feature, which is like basically like a bookmark where it's like, okay, just bookmark here and then you can return to your run later. Apparently it doesn't have that. Where
Yeah, that's
you
kind of
can't
a
just
bummer.
Yeah, and apparently you have to play sometimes 2 hours at a time in order to actually get past a certain point. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
I
why I'm
said
waiting.
like that's why I said like wait for Eternal in case they like put in a quick save feature and play Resident Evil Village instead.
So Returnal. So sorry, we'll go to that. I didn't want to mess up your segue.
I wanna talk
but
about it,
I didn't- yeah,
Dave.
but
I
so
love that game.
Returnal is a game then that like you probably can't play as a kid because like you're on the system. Your parents are like, Timmy, we gotta go. Like, turn it off right now. You're like, but mom, I can't. But I can't sit the game. That's something that I feel like adults of now will be able to understand when their children say that to them. Like they'll be like,
Yes.
Mom, I'm in the middle of I'm in online, and parents will go like, oh yeah, I know what that means. And like, of course, like
No, I think
either
I'm gonna
finish it out
continue the
or they'll
vicious
go
cycle.
like, I don't care. But but my parents would like not understand. They're like, what do you mean, like online?
Yeah.
Or it's like, what do you mean save? Like
There's no pause button.
there's the power button's right there. Like just push on the power. What'll be the thing with video games that we don't understand? That our children like
I'm not going to understand the credit card bill. My kid comes and I'm like, why?
more V-Bucks or whatever, and like the
No,
stupid
no.
in-game
Dad,
currency.
to continue playing, I need to buy more stuff. Like, oh, no. We've gone full swing.
I'm trying
What
to
about
think if
RE8?
there's...
Tell me about RE8.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
wanna hear
yeah,
about
go
RE8.
ahead, Will.
Okay.
Gosh.
I'm going to buy that soon, so I want to hear if it's
RE8
good.
is okay. So Resident Evil 8. So if I've been playing for the past couple months, I've been going through the Resident Evil series and kind of playing various games. My order, I think, was 7, 2, 4, 1, 3, 8. I think is the order that I played them in, which is like literally all over the place.
Oliver said that
So
you're
I-
making him play... Oliver is Will's best friend, by the way. That you're making him play like
How
Resident
long?
Evil 5 with him. Like,
Yes.
what's wrong with you?
Isn't that game
That
supposed to
game
be terrible?
sucks. Like, Will's not
Okay.
only playing the good Resident Evil, he's playing the bad Resident Evils.
Listen, the bad ones are still a little bit of fun to me. I don't know why, but the Resident Evil is a very interesting franchise because every entry is different. The first one is super survival horror oriented. The second one is kind of similar to that. The third one is way more action based. The fourth one is super action based, but still a little bit of horror. The fifth and sixth ones are complete action. The seventh one is back to survival horror, almost no action except a little towards the end. And then 8 is a mix of horror and action almost perfectly because the 8th one has different sections to it, different locations that almost all play differently. There's one, like the castle is like classic Resident Evil where you go
Spoilers.
through the
Castle.
There's a castle in Resident Evil game? What?
Gosh dang it.
There's a dark forest?
There's a village? No, spoilers.
Can you romance the vampire lady?
Gosh. She romances you with her foot as she crushes your skull or whatever,
yes,
right?
Yes.
She is
dang it.
super creepy, and she.
Were you going to say creepy? Did anyone else think Will was going to say creepy or something else?
No.
Anyways.
Lovely was more on the mind.
Anyways. There's there's sections of the game. There's like 4 or 5 big overall areas, and each of them plays completely different than the other, and so it's always really fresh, which is awesome, which I love. One of them is like classic Resident Evil. The other is you don't get any weapons during the whole entire time. You
Spoilers.
It's just pure.
7 was the same way, right? Where it's like you don't really have weapons. Is that right?
No, 7 you get weapons.
Will glitched out, by the way. So
Yeah, Will just
he'll come back to us in a moment or two. But I actually did not play much. As we wait for Will, we can talk a little bit about 7. I did not play much of 7. I had it on Games Pass, and then my thing expired, so I stopped playing it. But Landon, you played how much of 7? Did you beat 7?
I played the entire game. 7 was awesome. Like
Okay.
it was like a slow burn survival horror game. You get weapons, but ammo's pretty limited. Like you have to manage. It's like one of those like you're like, well, I'm going to save my shotgun shells for when I need them. And then like you see something like horrifying, you're like, all right, this is why I have my shotgun shells. And then you use them all, and it's like, well, that didn't do anything. So, but yeah, it was a slow burn. I mean, I don't think in 7 you don't even get. I think in like the very end you get like a fully automatic weapon, and it's for like the last 45 minutes of the game or something.
Oh, okay.
And everything else is like limited ammo
And Will is back, so sorry. Will,
Yeah, sorry.
continue.
My internet,
Will
my internet
glitched
cut out. I apologize. So it just suddenly decided to die, and it might happen again, but hopefully not. Anyway, it just the game mixes it up a lot, and it's very different from 7, but it's also more of the same. And I think Landon's going to really like it.
Yeah, as soon as I platinum Miles Morales, I'll pick it up. So
How many months will that be, Landon?
Probably 2.
Well, he's so busy
Oh,
because
I'm so
Right.
busy. Oh boy, ooh-wee.
Did you? How quick did you play through 8 then? Will, was it just like a few days or?
My Steam time, let me check, is 12 hours, and I beat it on Monday, and it came out on Thursday night. So it's Thursday night, Friday, Saturday,
So a couple
Sunday,
hours
Monday.
a day. Looks like.
Yeah, a couple hours a day. So
How hard was it?
I played it on normal difficulty. The beginning is the hardest part, I would say. The beginning and the final boss. The beginning because you don't get a ton of supplies, and there's this like horde of enemies section that's really annoying. And then the final boss is just really hard for some reason.
I kind of hate when the final boss is like super hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense, but like at the same time, like when it's like the final confrontation and it's like some annoying boss fight, and you're like, just want to feel cool.
Yeah, I also don't like for especially specifically like really narrative games where there are boss fights that like it takes 10 to 15 times to win. Games that come to mind are like some of the Uncharted games where some of the some of the final boss battles are really hard, and like I'm okay with maybe like 2 or 3 attempts, but like the 15th time you hear, Nathan Drake say his line again, like before you try to like do the badly timed jump or whatever. Like I think it gets a little old, especially for games that are so like important, narratively driven,
or not only like when they're like hard, but like when they're super long too. And you're like, I would rather almost just have a cutscene sometimes. Like I remember, like Uncharted 3 comes to mind. This sounds dumb because it's like all a quick time event. But they make the quick time harder, like the harder difficulties. So I was like playing the game on like one of the harder difficulties, and you had to like mash like one of the buttons so fast that it took me like probably a dozen tries just because it would keep failing the quick time event, and it just ruined like the finale of the game. Like I'm just sitting there, like screaming at my television. Like my little sister.
I guess, and I think Dave has talked about this before, but with those games, playing them on like such a hard difficulty in itself like takes you out of the narrative.
I did not play Uncharted on difficulties because those games are almost unplayable on harder difficulties, like to the point where the game is not fun. The first Uncharted game I started, there's like 4 levels of difficulty or something, and I started on not the hardest one. It was the next one down.
I think that's what I played.
And
most
even
of
that, like, it was excruciating, and I had to bump it down because I could have kept playing on hard or whatever it was and got farther.
But you were ready to quit.
I was ready to quit. I was not having a good time, and I was like, I hate this game. As soon as I bumped it down, it was like it fit the game much better.
Yeah.
Like games like that, I don't think are supposed to be that punishingly hard.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't seem realistic in the confines of the game. I mean, I know that like there's enough disbelief we have to suspend anyway with those kind of games, you know, Drake the Mass Murderer, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I think if they are focused on that, like I like, maybe 2 or 3 attempts. If you can beat it on the first try, that also feels really good.
Yeah.
Man,
So
I wanted to hear more
can't-
about Resident Evil, but Will keeps
Will's
losing
just
internet.
Dead. Yeah. I'm gonna buy it soon. Play through it.
Well, when
Sounds
they
like a fun game.
when they announced it, it looked really cool. Just the whole setting, the kind of the ambiance of the of the world that is created, and seeing I was really interested when the video started, when they announced it. My interest went down a little bit when I saw that it was Resident Evil, but since then, like from Will's experience with the games, from hearing so much about how Landon liked 7, I was much less turned off from it after that. But I am excited.
Resident Evil's gotten back into good grace recently.
That's what
It
it
was a
seems
joke
like.
for a while.
I honestly think part of my like bad perception of Resident Evil is from the movies, because my first experience with Resident Evil was actually the movies, and the movies are horrible, right? And I
never
think
seen
Don't tell Jesse that. Friend of the show, Jesse Bick. Those are some of his favorite movies. I know it explains a
they're
lot.
so
but
bad. They're so bad. But when you go back and play like the original and the second two remake and 7 and even 8 and 4, like they're amazing games. There's puzzles. They're dungeon like. There's like it's scary. All great stuff.
I've been enjoying kind of darker games, like aesthetically darker games recently, with playing Bloodborne and then playing Dark Souls. Like, I've really loved the world of Dark Souls, let alone everything else about the game. But like Resident Evil kind of reminds me of that same sort of like kind of like dark world that has just kind of like filled with all the stuff that you have to overcome. I don't know. I've been like those settings have been much more interesting to me lately for some reason. I have no idea why, but there's just something about
Emo Dave?
that just like scratches that itch. Yeah, I need to go back, tell 12-year-old Dave, like, play these games, so then that way when you get older, you'll enjoy these games. But then what else would that have changed?
So
Dave's
much.
like the weird kid on the back of the bus.
No,
the
stop.
city bus,
Yeah.
just like a trench coat and like.
No, I wasn't
Or
on the
the-
bus because I was homeschooled.
No, but like
Dave's in
you're
the
riding
box
you're
seat
riding
of
the
the
city
car.
bus. You're riding the city bus to community college. Like you're like 6th year at community college. And you're like
Oh, no.
the
He
vice
keeps like a
president of the
4-pack of
D&D
Monster with
club.
him.
Hey, I did theater in community college, so I met all those kind of kids and
Oh my
acted with
gosh,
some
dude.
of them. So
That's insane. It's insane that you would like put yourself in that kind of like environment. Like,
Yeah.
willingly,
I'm sure it wasn't all bad.
it wasn't all bad.
Sure, it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, they're not all weird. I mean, they're all weird, but like,
I mean,
in an okay way.
like,
I have my own
what
oddities.
percentage of them? What percentage of them were weird in a not okay way?
I don't know. I think 0. I think 0%.
We'll ask you again off air.
Once you get to
Yeah,
know
how many of them-
people, like
How many of them listen to the podcast?
probably all of them. Every single person that I've acted with is a frequent listener of our show.
An avid
Yeah.
listener.
Get emails on the reg.
Every single person I know too is just loves this podcast. They recommend
Yeah.
it wholeheartedly.
We have 10,000 subscribers on Patreon.
If you listen to our podcast, shoot us an email and let us know. Let us know
Dave
if
checking the inbox,
let us know
3
if
emails, like-
let us know if we talk about subjects you'd like, or if we don't cover subjects you'd like. Let us know, and then we'll try to include them in our future episodes. Again, that's hosts at hotkeyspodcast.com. Mick's shaking his
Quick
head
little
over there.
stealth advertisement in the middle of the episode.
Well, we don't get enough emails. I mean, like, we get some emails, not from listeners, but
Spam.
I would like to get some listener emails, and then we can read them on the air.
Oh, I'd love to have reader mail.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Man. We got John from Kentucky writing in.
I want
hate
personal
Colby.
DMs.
Kick him
I
off
want
the show.
personal DMs. I'm gonna take the topic in a different direction. So if you guys have anything else to add about Resident Evil,
I'm sure we can always jump back to it.
all right. So today is the first day of the Stanley Cup Playoffs.
I'm gonna take it in a different direction.
Okay.
I've been watching. No, I'm kidding.
I got all of us to make a Stanley Cup playoff bracket. Who do we have winning?
Now wait, you have an
Islanders.
edge
Islanders.
because you are a hockey player. You've been a lifelong hockey fan. Some of us, like me, and I think Mick, like we basically blindly made our picks. Will, did you do the same thing?
Yeah, I
Pretty
was
much.
like, this team looks cool. Has a pretty cool logo.
That's kind of what I did,
Go Isles.
Go Caps.
I don't remember who I picked to win. I'll have to look at my bracket real quick. I picked the Vegas Knights.
Okay. I got the Washington Capitals beating the Knights.
The Capitals. Let's see.
6 games.
I have the Capitals losing to the Penguins because
Wait, so you don't have the Isles beating
That's
the
a
Penguins in the first
rivalry.
round?
I picked the Penguins just because Landon's like, Isles and 4.
Hey,
Landon is so annoying. Like every year, so this is like
Landon,
my favorite sporting event of all time, and Landon is like constantly sucking the fun out of it. Like last year, my team is like the Washington Capitals, and they
The
played.
Isles beat them in 5, dude. Let's go.
They
baby.
played the New
Isles in
York
5.
Islanders last year in the playoffs, and like Landon ruined everything for me. Like
That's so
it was
funny.
so bad.
I was at the
It
beach
was
with my
not
family.
funny.
I was watching the Isles play on like the TV. And I would just text Colby, be like Isles in 5, and they won in
Yeah,
5
when it
games.
was like 1 p.m. and you were just a couple drinks deep.
Was this the cake trip or was this a different trip?
This is the lemon cake trip.
Oh, it's the cake trip. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Colby might have been having more fun watching his team lose.
No, I had a great time on that trip. That was a fun vacation.
Well,
But
so let's see. So Colby,
Mick, who did you pick?
I picked Tampa.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
That's right.
You think they're going to go back to back?
Oh yeah.
Back to back
Easy.
ships?
back
Statistically,
to back.
statistics, man.
Actually, they are like
Math.
one of the better teams in the league again, so it's very possible.
Besides the Isles.
Is Seattle's team like up and going?
The Kraken.
So they'll start. Yeah, go crack, go crack, baby,
Crack up.
So they actually just signed their first player earlier this week. So they'll have an expansion draft in the NFL or oops, the NHL. That's supposed to take place in July, and then they'll start this upcoming season. So they'll start in the fall.
Did you try out?
Did not try out.
Dude, imagine, dude. Colby just tries out. They should have open tryouts for the team. They really should.
I mean, like they could pick me up, or they could pick up like an all-star player that's already in the NHL from a different team. So
They take Colby, set the franchise back a decade. Like,
They're removed back down to 31 teams.
yeah, yeah. So that'll be fun to watch this fall.
Are they gonna be your team, or are you gonna kind of wait? Like
No,
ease
they're definitely.
into
I've already
hometown
got
pride?
a ton of like Kraken stuff. So
Like
I'm
merch?
I'm all in. Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
really?
all in.
You already got like jerseys and stuff, or
No, they're not selling jerseys yet until after the expansion draft.
Because
it says
I've got
like
players,
player
Dave.
like to be determined on the back.
Yeah.
Numbers like
TBD,
question marks.
baby.
No, I've got a couple shirts. I've got a sweatshirt, hat, a couple pairs of socks. I've got a mini like beanbag toss. What is it called?
Fidget spinner.
No, the
Rubik's
what?
Cube.
No.
The
Dude,
slap
no.
the slap wrist, slap bands.
Ball cup.
what is
I
this?
can't do that.
Pogs.
The
What is it?
Cornhole. It's called cornhole.
Cornhole.
Colby's like, I have to think of this so quick before they keep going.
It's the
Yeah.
ball. With
So
the
I'm all in
thing.
on the Kraken. We'll just share. They can have a special place in my heart. with the other team.
Are you gonna when are you gonna see? Are you gonna try to see them like as soon as you can when they play? Like pop
Probably.
over?
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's honestly 6-hour drive. Spend a weekend over there. Come back. It'd be fun.
6 hours? You can make it in 4.
I could,
If Mick's driving.
I was gonna say if Mick's driving, we could make it in 4.
Dude, no nonsense. Let's just get there. No stops. No bathroom
And then
breaks.
we can get in Seattle and like Landon can have a mental breakdown behind the wheel.
Stop.
And, like,
and then make me drive.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm driving in big cities can be stressful, okay? You know.
It was. And I'd already driven all day.
Like that's one thing I was most worried about on my road trip was driving through certain cities. Like I was like not looking forward to Atlanta, not looking forward to Washington D.C. Because I knew those would be
go Caps.
not wait. What? Don't you mean go Hawks? No. What's
What?
the Atlanta team?
Falcons.
No, the hockey team.
They don't have an
They don't have a
NHL
hockey team?
anymore. No, they used to be the Atlanta Thrashers, and then they got moved.
Wait,
to
do they have an NBA
Winnipeg.
team? Is the NBA team the Hawks or something?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know my
Are you
sports.
thinking about the Falcons?
No, the NBA team. I've been watching the Michael Jordan documentary, and they were talking about playing, so I get my
Falcons.
sports confused.
Yeah.
The Atlanta
It's okay,
Hawks.
nice try.
Oh wait, yeah, basketball team. They're probably not good, right?
I never
I don't think
actually
any
even heard of
NBA
them.
team's good except for the Golden State Warriors. So
Yeah.
Dude, they're like 8th in their division. Like,
Dude, stop.
Okay, so
Blasphemy.
I've
Fake news.
I've been watching I've like not really cared. I don't care about basketball really, but watching the Michael Jordan documentary makes the NBA and basketball seem really interesting.
Super.
I think
It's
it
actually
used to
not.
Maybe it's
It
just
was
like
probably a
maybe
lot
it's
more
because they
fun
show
back-
like cool highlights and stuff, and it was like peak NBA when it was the most popular or something. But
yeah.
I've really enjoyed the documentary. I would recommend it. It's on Netflix. It's like 10 episodes or something. But I've just been watching it the last few days, kind of as I sit around and do nothing. But it does make basketball seem way cooler than I think it is. I don't know why basketball
So does
has
Space
always
Jam.
seemed so boring to me. But I don't
Yeah.
know. The documentary makes it seem cool. I've been enjoying it.
It's one of those like you can watch it in person, but you'll never catch me watching an NBA game.
We walk in on Colby. He's like furiously changing the channel. We're like, "Are you watching basketball?" No.
Yeah, no.
It was
Keeping up with the
HGTV.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
Easier to explain.
The only time I've been excited about like basketball is like during the
NCAA.
movie Uncut Gems. Like
Oh.
movie, like that. Like
Yeah.
that makes like basketball cool.
That
Like,
also made basketball really stressful,
yeah.
I would say. Which makes it interesting because then you have stakes involved.
Yeah.
So I guess to continue with the sports talk, Colby, you're still playing hockey regularly Thursday nights, and then what you got like hit in the face or something, didn't you?
Yeah, so Thursday, I was playing hockey, and everything was normal. So I don't know if I mentioned this before on the show, but growing up, I always had a cage for like on my helmet instead of a visor, because the rule was you have to be 18 in order to take the cage off. And I stopped playing before I got to 18. So this time when I picked it up like a month and a half ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with a visor because I want to be cool. And
I see where this is going.
but of course I wore a mouth guard.
I mean,
And then
I feel like you'd be a fool not to, right? In pretty much any sport.
yes. However, Thursday night I was like, you know what? I probably don't need a mouth guard
What?
tonight.
No, Colby.
No. What? So, no. Okay. So I had it with me, but there's like a spot in your glove where you could just like stick the mouth guard. So I just kind of stuck it in there for the shift, and next thing I know, dude, the puck just comes up underneath my visor. It hit me in the nose and the upper lip, mouth. Like my 2 front teeth were so sore. Like I just had enough time to like wipe my glove over my nose to see if it was bleeding, and then just keep playing. It was really terrible.
You're like really lucky. Like
No blood, no cracks on the teeth. So then the next day, so Friday morning, I woke
like,
up. My
"My
teeth
teeth
were
are
super sore. And I had a dentist appointment, and they were filling a cavity, and like the dentist was like, "Oh, this one's really, really small, so we don't need numbing." So then, like the side of my mouth was hurting, along with my 2 front teeth and my lip and my nose, and it was So then I played hockey Friday night, wore a mouth guard,
You played the
whole-
next
whole
night
time.
too?
Yeah, they texted me actually when
The
Mick and I
Kraken?
were at Froyo. Yeah, the Kraken. They were like, "Hey, dude, we got scrimmage. We need somebody." And I was like, "Be there in 45." So, yeah. So I played again last night. It was decent. It wasn't like the same. It was a different set of people, so it was a different.
Did
style,
you wear the
different
cage the
pace.
second time?
Nope, no cage, but I did wear the mouth guards.
You did wear the mouth guard.
I guess
don't-
ends with Colby
except-
like
okay,
a broken
hold on,
jaw
time
or
out,
something.
time
Like
So also, in order to look cool, I went with clear mouth guards. Clear mouth guards, visor. That's what the pros do. I, in the span of Thursday and Friday, lost both my mouth guards. I don't know where they were. One of them fell out of my glove, probably somewhere on the ice.
Ew.
It's clear, so that's gone. The other one, I don't know. Maybe it's in my bag. Maybe it wasn't in like my little mouth guard holder, so maybe it's also on the ice. But now I don't have a mouth guard, so I have to go get another one before Thursday.
I don't think I
wanna
could
get hit in the mouth
take
again.
getting hit in the face with a hockey puck. I think I would probably just be done with everything.
Well, it was like right on the bottom of the nose, pushing up too. So, it just like immediately you
Ugh.
start tearing up, like out of reaction. But
you cried
Like
on the
I-
ice.
I mean, like basically, yeah.
Colby's like,
Baby
Colby's like, I
alert.
look so cool without my mouth guard. Also, Colby bawling on the ice. Like,
But you know what? I put up a clinic anyways, like I usually do. So, I've been keeping track of my stats throughout
Are you patting him?
the weeks. No, I'm just jotting them down to keep track.
Okay. I mean, you'll need him when you show up in Seattle. So
Yeah, it's kind of I've got to put that on my resume.
exactly. Yeah.
They're like, oh, you played a game Friday right after Thursday, and it says here you got 4 goals and 2 assists. Yeah, that's right. Put me in, coach. So
I think it's cool you're getting back into that. It's something that you did a lot and that you enjoyed as a kid. That's really cool.
yeah, I do too. I was telling Will that it also helps the weeks go by a lot faster too, because I'm playing on Thursday, so like now I'm looking forward to Thursdays instead
Oh, I
of
can't wait to
Fridays.
get hit in the face next week too.
Right, so it just kind of makes the weeks go by faster. Something to look forward to.
Anything else you guys want to talk about this week before we wrap up?
I think I.
If
got
you
everything.
find a clear mouth guard, please
Send it
DM
to
me.
Colby Chapman.
Return to sender. No,
All right, well-
I think that's everything.
Well, thank you for listening this week. If there is nothing else, you guys have a great week. We will be back next week to talk about more head injury and video games, and
I'm sure I'll detail another Star Trek: The Next Generation episode for you guys.
then Will's internet will cut out again.
Hooray!
Landon will
Awesome.
mention his house. Mick will say like 7 words, and then Colby will have to get
edited and into oblivion. Cut him out. Cut Colby.
All right. Well, thanks for talking. You guys have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Stay jolly, boys. Stay jolly. And remember to heart heart.
Gosh,
Oh my gosh! Just
I'm
stop.
so sick of you.
Keep the stop and
Stay
I'm so
jolly.
sick of you, and please stay jolly. That was terrible.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Castbox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.